Let's go Cubbies, Son Ranto, Son Ranto, Son Ranto and the lovable losers. Son Ranto, Son Ranto, Son Ranto and the lovable losers. Son Ranto.
It's opening day!
Yeah, finally, we made it, everybody. It is opening day, as my In the Clutch shirt, Dookie design, inspired design is saying right now. And before we get started, I do want to bring on a very special guest who comes to us from Arlington, Texas right now. It is Son Ranto, host and friend, a longtime friend of the pod and friend of mine. Here comes Crawley.
What's
Crawley.
up, everybody, man? I'm here. I'm in Texas.
Happy opening day!
Dude, this place is jumping wild, man. I just got to tell you, they got a lot of drinks. They got a lot of fun. I just rode a mechanical bull for 38 seconds.
38 seconds. What do you have it on the kid setting? Dude, I got on the mechanical bull. I lasted about 2 seconds, and the guy was laughing at me, threw me off right away.
Go ahead to at Crawley's Cubs. You'll see it. It's streamed live, baby. I'm having the time of my life.
Is your health insurance up to date?
Health insurance is 100% paid for, up to date. We're
right,
good,
good.
man. Hey, we're down here, Cub fans in Oklahoma, CFIO, totally in the house. We were hanging with Billy and Eck Little, Luke's parents. I don't know, man. It's like we're here. We're having a good time. Everyone's just enjoying life. This place is crazy. If you look behind me, that's Choctaw Stadium. That's the old Arlington Stadium, the old Ranger Stadium. This is right behind me is the new one. And then if you could kind of see back behind me, that's the Cowboy Stadium. So, I mean, this place is just like it's a whole complex. If you've ever been to St. Louis, it's very similar to Ballpark Village. So
Okay.
there's a lot of drinks, a lot of dance, and everyone's having fun here.
That's awesome. Yeah, so shout out to Cubs fans in Oklahoma. I haven't heard about them in a while.
Yeah, so
Oh.
they're big today, huh?
They are invading, and watch for us tomorrow, big time. I think we got like 300 or 400 people behind the Cubs first base dugout.
Well, if you have
that's
tickets
awesome.
if you have tickets for tomorrow, you're going to be out of luck because there's no game. It's on Saturday, so.
Yeah, whatever. You know what I'm talking about, asshole.
So I got to ask. So tonight we've got a night game for our opening day, and Craigslist just came out. We saw that Ian Happ is leading off for the. How do you feel about that? You know, it's something that didn't happen a lot last year. How you feeling about the leadoff hitter being Ian Happ? Not since the whole leadoff home run of 2018 have we seen such a thing.
So, true story. I was at that game in Miami in 2018 when Ian Happ did hit that home run. So whether he does it or not, I'd love to see Michael Cerami dye his hair blue. I would just say more than anything, I mean, I like Ian Happ batting 1. If it was me personally, I would have Nico batting 2. I would have Bellinger 3 and Seiya Suzuki 4 with Morel 5. And how about this? All this talk about Morel playing third, they got him DHing.
Yeah, I know.
Dude, we will get into that, Crawley, because you know that I'm pissed about that.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll complain for you. We got you. So where are you sitting tonight? Are we going to be able to see on TV or anything? Like, we're just going to look for the shirtless drunk guy and think it's probably you.
So I would say for me, honestly, like today, you probably won't see me. I'm in the nosebleeds. I'm in the Bob Euchre section of Arlington Park, section 304. Saturday, let me correct myself, I will be in 104. So Saturday, great seats. Tonight, a little bit high, but hey, what's wrong with that, right?
Hey, me too. I will be too. I'll be over at the Chuggo party, and I will be a little bit high myself. Well, happy opening day, my friend. Of course, we're going to talk to you a bunch of times throughout this championship season that I know we expect. But let me get a win total from you. What are you looking at for this year, for 2024?
I'm going to say 85 to 86 games, right? Roughly around there.
All right, so you're saying that I am more optimistic than you are? I'll
I
give
think
my
86 games to me sounds pretty good. I mean, you take a look. I had the Reds being really good, and they've got a lot of injuries. I didn't have a lot of faith in St. Louis and Milwaukee. We'll see if they can do their magic without Craig Counsell. It's up to Pat Murphy. But like I said, I think the Cubs winning 85-86 sounds about reasonable.
Well, I have good news for you, Crawley. St. Louis is already losing. It looks like they're going to lose today's game. They're behind pretty big. And Miles Michael just gave up a bunch of runs. So just to make your day even more fun, I'll give you that little bit of information.
Dude, I don't know how Pacoda, and I had the guy from Pacoda on, and I would not believe that he had I think the Cardinals are like 87, 88 wins. I'm like, there's no way. Like, dude, look at that pitching staff. I mean, I see better pitching staffs at the men's 16-inch softball league in Schaumburg. Like, don't fucking tell me that's going to win 86, 87 games. Not happening.
What did they do in the offseason to make anybody think that they can get 15 more wins than they had last year? That's insane.
15 is insane. They got some pitching. Obviously, Sonny.
Oh. We're losing
I think
Crawley.
we're losing him.
Crawley, we lost you. We lost audio here. We've lost audio somehow. So should we just make up what he's saying? Danny Rocket is really the smartest Cubs fan. Well, there you go. Sorry, you're back on. You're back.
You muted for a while.
You muted.
I don't think he can hear us.
Yeah, you can't hear us.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we got you, Crawley.
We can now.
He can't hear us now. So, all right.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hello.
Feel like I'm in a Verizon commercial. Yes, we can hear you.
All right, Ranters, I cannot hear you. I don't know if you can hear me. Peace out, Ranters Fest, June 1st. Let's get fucked up.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
All right, have fun. All right, well, Crawley seems to already – I mean, he's not going to remember first pitch, let alone the 7-inning stretch, you know. So Terry E. writes in, what's different about Crawley? Oh, he's sober. I wouldn't think so.
I mean,
some really intelligent people are saying things like #chance in the chat, #chance in the chat. And before we go any further, I do want to mention that we are brought to you by our 111 Patreon supporters. I'd like to thank everybody that joined on recently. Go to patreon.com/sunranto if you want to be a part of it all. Want to especially thank our super duper ranters, Blake Beard's Tickets, Rogue Wave Creative, and the Cubs PS Plus podcast, our brother podcast, and also our sponsors, Matt Kammerer's Permanent Paintings, which are sitting above my shoulders here and Michael's shoulders. Check him out on his Etsy store, Permanent Paintings, and In the Clutch shirts. And look, I'm wearing my opening day In the Clutch shirt. You can get that.
Look at mine is not in the clutch, but look at that beauty.
Yeah, that's a middle-aged man have a couple of beers after mowing the lawn shirt. Right there.
I love it. Emily found it at a thrift store. This damn thing, it's a double XL, so it's a little bit big for me, but it still had the tags, the Cooperstown collection tags still on it. It was $15, and then it was like 80% off of that at a fucking thrift store, and it's the greatest shirt ever. It's just a fucking badass, sort of Hawaiian, like you say, like an old man drinking a beer, watching a game shirt. I love it.
I have definitely seen that shirt in the bleachers, and I've seen it at Sports World, and I think it is like a $60, $70 shirt, and maybe
it's expensive as shit.
Yeah, so the good score, Emily, and I also wanted to just say that you can get this shirt that I'm wearing right here if you go to intheclutch.com/sunranto. That's how we get credit for your purchase. And if you use code sunranto, you get 10% off. So, all right, we're here. Opening day. Craigslist is out. Took forever to get Craigslist out today. I already saw people bitching that it was taking.
I'm bitching. Fucking right off of the bat. Like, what the? We've been waiting for so long. Morrell, third base. He plays third base in all of spring training. And then he's the fucking, and it's not even that he's DH. It's that Madrigal is the third baseman. Like, what are you thinking? Come on with this Madrigal bullshit. We're done with this.
No, opening day. And I knew it was going to happen. I had a little premonition the other day when I was walking around. I was like, Nick Madrigal's going to be in the opening day lineup, isn't he? I'm like, they're just going to do it just to mess with Cub fans. And Craig's going to establish a few things with his Craigslist. He's going to be like, the fans will not dictate what I do. You know, so let me put up today's lineup and we'll kind of talk about each guy and how they're sitting. I mean, it's the first lineup, so it seems like a big deal, but we got 161 more of these suckers to go and hopefully more. So Ian Happ, the switch hitter, leading off. Last time he did that on an opening day, I mean, he might have done it since then, I don't know, but he hit a home run down at Marlins Park because we were just talking to Crawley about, and with the OBP, I mean, it makes a lot of sense, but how do you feel about it? How do you feel in the chat?
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, Hap should have been the leadoff for a while now. It's nice that they finally have somebody sitting in the dugout who's got the balls to tell Ian Happ, I don't give a shit what you want. You're fucking batting leadoff because you've got great, like, you get walks. That's what you do.
Yeah.
And you fucking hit like singles. You're not a fucking power guy. It's nice. He's got the power to hit 25 bombs. Absolutely. But we've seen over the last couple of years, he has backed off the power a little bit in order to get a higher batting average, get on more. And with that in mind, then he's down to around, 18 to 20 home runs, which is great out of your leadoff guy. That's awesome. But he's a leadoff guy. He's not going to be a power guy. He's not going to grow into that or anything. This is what he should have been doing for the last couple of years. I mean, and I'm glad he's finally doing it.
He did have 21 home runs last year, so it's not like he's not a power guy at all. I mean,
but that's what I said. And that's awesome. Like if he hits that, if he gets up there and fucking drives a bomb, that's great. I'm just saying that's not his game. He's not like Ian Happ's a power hitter. Get him up there and let him hit bombs. I think he wanted to do that back when I think his rookie year, I think he hit 25 or some shit.
Yeah, 27.
Yeah, like and at that point, it looked like, okay, he's going to be a power hitter. He's going to be the guy.
He hit 25 in 2021 as well, but that's not 40. You know what I mean? Like that's not what Christopher Morel is capable of.
And we've heard he's backed off a bit. He wants to hit safely and take his walks more so than sell out for home runs. And he's really good at that, actually. So hit leadoff. That's what you should do.
360 OBP last year. The only one that was really higher than him, I mean, was a part-time player in Mike Tauchman, who actually did get 401 plate appearances. But that's Ian Happ almost had 700 plate appearances. Can you believe that?
Good Lord.
691 plate appearances. So he was in there and a stalwart.
Which means he was healthy. He played all the time. Like, it's nice to be able to set up your leadoff guy, set it and forget it. Like, honestly, the rest of these can move a little bit, but I love Hap at the top. His power, the power that he does have as a hitter, reminds me of Dexter Fowler, right? Like Dexter Fowler's game was not power, but he absolutely hit bombs. And that's what Ian Happ can do for us.
Yeah. How do you feel about the people that say that Nico Horner should be the guy? He's batting 7th tonight.
Well, I don't like him 7th. That's for sure. But
he was a fine leadoff hitter. I mean, he didn't have the OBP of Tauchman. I mean, it was decent. He had 346. But here's guys who had a higher OBP than him: Bellinger, Suzuki, Happ, Tauchman, and yet Nico did the job. And Tauchman did it quite a bit last year. I think Happ did a little bit, but
I don't hate Nico as my leadoff, but I think Happ's the clear choice here. Again,
he has been for a while. Like maybe he's been the choice really since he was a rookie. like, like, can you imagine how things might have been different if just Ian Happ was the leadoff guy this whole freaking time? And they're like, oh, like the Charlie Blackmon of the Cubs. It could have been that.
Yeah.
It could have been that this whole time. He would have been known as like, the only guy really ever in Cubs history to do that, because we always just get like one scrappy guy for like 2 years to come and do it. And then it never works out. But
I mean, that's where Hap's at now. He'll do it for 2 years and then they won't re-sign him and he'll be gone.
yeah. So next guy, Seiya Suzuki, who I'm going to give my predictions later in the show, but a little sneak peek. He's going to be the MVP.
Of the league the team?
The league.
The league. I like it.
The whole league, cover of the show next year, the whole 9 yards.
That's great. No, and
batting second. What do you like? I mean, I just told you he's got the high OBP. He gets on base a lot, hits for a little bit more slug, I'd say, than Hap does. I kind of prefer him a little further down in the lineup, maybe, but not too far.
Well, I mean, I think, look, like you say, if you think he's going to be the MVP, he can't go any further than 3, right? So you're talking maybe Bellinger's at 3. So if you want, you could flip-flop Bellinger and Suzuki if you'd like, but you want him up in that first inning, so he's got to be 2 or 3. So I'm good with him at 2. Hopefully Hap's on base and we start the game with a 2-run lead. Like, that would be great. And if not, I don't know. I mean, that's you got to pitch to him. If Hap gets on, think about this. If Hap gets on base, if he gets that walk, you have Suzuki and then you have Bellinger and then you have Morel. You have to pitch to Suzuki. You've got to. There's no way around that.
Yeah, you got to try to throw him strikes. You got to try to get him out somehow.
That's going to play. That's going to play right into what he does. I don't know. I kind of like Suzuki as our number 2 guy. I'm like I said, if he moved to 3, I wouldn't have any problem with it. But I like him at the 2.
Yeah, this is so far. No, I'm not going to quibble with anything that's going on so far. I like what I see. Bellinger, your first full-fledged lefty against the righty Nathan Eovaldi tonight. He's playing center field tonight. MVP-esque season last year. Did get a couple of votes. Great that the Cubs got him back. He was a great fit for the team. Had a lot of power. Hit for average. I mean, he did everything that he could have done to get that long contract, except for get the long contract. So here he is, batting third for the Cubs, neck and neck MVP votes with Seiya.
And I will say at this time last year, I was a non-believer. I'm not going to be one of these guys that acts like, oh, I never said any dumb shit and just ignore it. No, I didn't think Bellinger was going to do it. I was comparing him to Hayward. I was, like, for this
Hayward
much
was
money.
Actually good.
Well, but Bellinger was better, and he proved me wrong. I was absolutely wrong. He had a great season. He did get injured for a little bit, which kind of sucked. And a lot of people talk about him dropping off for that last month. Yeah, he dropped off to like just very good versus great, right? So I'll take that. No, I really like Bellinger back on this team.
They don't win the Central without him. That's just where I'm going. There's too many holes, too many rookies. You got PCA probably trolling or Tachman every day or something like. I had the Reds prior to spring training. I had the Reds as the favorite in this division. That was my thought. Like, Reds are the ones that I think can run away with this division. And then we signed Bellinger. And when we did that, I was like, now, wait a second. Now I think the Cubs are going to battle the Reds. It could go either way. It's a 50-50. Now I am at, like, because of all the turmoil over there in Reds camp with their, PEDs and their injuries and all the dumb shit, Cubs are clearly ahead of them. But Bellinger started to shift that
and then the injuries and stuff just solidified it. But yeah, he's the one guy. No, I can't really say that. Cubs only went and got two guys, Imanaga and Bellinger, and oh my God, if they hadn't gotten those guys,
Well, Neris, I think you could add to the list as far as bullpen goes, but
he's not going to have the impact that those two guys. Two guys made this team like, and I think you said it on one of the Cubs spots. Everybody's talking about they're just running the same team out there again, and they're not in a lot of respects. They're not, but these two guys made it so that this team is actually going to be better. If you don't have Bellinger, I don't know that this team is better than the team last year that went for 82 wins.
Well, and he carried the team in April and March last year, had a 165 OPS plus, and then in 199 OPS plus in July, 137 in August, and yeah, he did drop off to 123. His bad months were when he was hurt in May and June.
he dropped off
to 20% better.
Yeah.
With a 827 OPS at that point. Yeah, but if you had a OPS under 600 for May and June, that's not great, but it's also like not like Javier Baez dropping off, and he was hurt. So, and overall, it was a freaking fantastic season. I think the knock is that it was his first good season out of the last three. And so hopefully he'll be able. What annoyed me is like I was listening to actually Crawley's podcast, the Fly the W podcast, and his co-host said he's like, oh, I like him being motivated to be getting that other contract. I disagree with that. I think that you're going to just do as good. I don't think you can motivate yourself anymore because of money. You already want to win. And I think the more of a motivation is that there's a good team on the field and you have freaking Craig Counsell as your manager, and he's not going to put a dumb lineup out there like Rossi did. Instead, you're going to get Craig's list. And I think that is what is going to motivate Cody Bellinger. Cody Bellinger, when healthy, is just simply a good baseball player. He doesn't need any motivation to be good at baseball. The Cubs are moving in a good trajectory. Paying him more money doesn't do anything for him being better at the game. At this point,
not at all. And I would say even, it can do the opposite sometimes because these guys get a big paycheck and then they feel the pressure. And don't get me wrong, he's got a big paycheck this year. But look,
he's fine.
Everybody uses the numbers. This is what really drives me nuts about numbers anymore. Everybody uses all the numbers to tell us how everybody's going to be bad. Where are the fucking people who use the numbers to tell us somebody's going to be good? Like, it doesn't seem to, like, after a certain point, they're just like, nah, the numbers all say bad. Look, you know how you have 2 good seasons in a row? You have 1 good season.
Yeah.
Bellinger had that.
Yeah.
And now he's got to just do it again. He's going to have 2. And if we're lucky, he has 3 and doesn't fucking opt out of this thing. And we have good seasons. Now, is that going to make, like, just because I said that doesn't mean anything. But the same thing with the fucking numbers. Like, all these people talking about, like, oh, the money. Yes, absolutely, Bill. That's the ass stats. I will tell you, you cannot have 2 good seasons if you don't have 1 good season. And I will fucking die on that hill. So I'm all for Bellinger continuing to do what he did last year. And look,
advanced analytics here on the Sun Ranto show.
If he takes this whole like not getting the long contract, like the money doesn't motivate him, but I could see just sort of maybe feeling a slightly disrespected. But I think ultimately he chose to come back to the Cubs. He could be sitting out there still. I think he finally just said, you know what? Fuck this. Let's just go to the Cubs for $30 million. I'm still making a shit ton of money. And I liked being there because he could have taken that money and gone anywhere. And most places would have taken him. He said, let's just go back to the Cubs. I think he's a good fit. It's going to be fun.
Well, the game's in an hour. We're only 3 batters in on the Cubs, so we should probably keep on moving. Christopher Morel, batting DH and 4th.
First off, fuck the DH. Fuck it in its DH ass.
Well, now to be fair, It is an American League ballpark, and regardless of like if this was 3-4 years ago, Cubs would have had a DH today anyway. So
Okay, you have
just
changed my mind. You are
pretend, yeah.
absolutely right. No, you're right. He could have been the DH anyway. So yeah.
Morel, I mean, just keeps building on what he's been doing the last few years. I hope he gets a full-on chance this year. It seems like Council loves him, and he will. I mean, what can you say? There's nothing to love about. I love everything about this freaking kid. he's so nice.
I love him
He's
too.
like a good person. He's very talented. He hits the ball really freaking hard when he hits it. Last year, he had 26 home runs. I think he could be a 40 home run guy if he's out there every day and getting the reps and stays healthy. He only had 429 at bats this year. Imagine him with like another 250. He at least hits 10 more home runs.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, he's like a perfect cleanup hitter. I mean, that's what you want him for. You get a couple of guys on, get your big bopper up there, and I mean, we saw last year when he went 11 straight games with a home run.
Yeah,
like he can just get on a tear, and when he does, he kills it. And when he's not on a tear, he still hits the ball hard as shit. Like you were saying, like he really, when he hits it, it's always hard.
He definitely struck out a little bit less, but he strikes out as much as you think a slugger would, and that's fine. He walks a little bit more, and that's good to see. And so he just keeps building on his success. And I think on this show, I know he's our favorite.
And here's my only issue with him not playing third base, and maybe I'm wrong. Is there some sort of weird thing at the Rangers ballpark between home and third to where you might be nervous about the guy? Like when you play the outfield, the walls are different. There's different angles. There's different things.
We can't
Nothing
be worried
like that happens at third base, right? I'm just
here's why.
Just making sure.
David Lieb writes in, Morel should be at third, but Madrigal actually has good numbers against Eovaldi. If they're both going to play, Madrigal is slightly better defender at this stage. And that is true. So just go get the W. I mean,
but he hasn't played in fucking 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's what scares me is that he hasn't played. Dansby Swanson at short. Obviously, the defense is there. You'd like the batting average to be a little higher than it was, which was under 250 last year. But Dansby putting out hype videos. I don't know if you saw that the other day. He put out his own hype video. So he's feeling good about it. I'm feeling good about him. He's our big money man. The defense is up. The glove is going to freaking play. It's one of the best middle infields in baseball. Dansby, I want him to bat 270. That's it. That's all I want. OBP, what did he have last year? Was he even 350? I don't think so.
No. Right now, I would say coming out of spring training, what we saw
328.
Yeah, coming out of spring training, what we've seen so far this season, and spring training doesn't mean anything. I'm not sure if he's my 5 hitter, right? I honestly would maybe
6-7.
Shift him down to, I would move Bush and Horner up 1 and move him down to 7.
Yeah.
Right. That's how I would maybe set it up. But again, it's spring training. It may all change tonight. It may be a different game. So
then the rookie Michael Bush playing first base. He's the sole other straight lefty. Rookie of the year. That's my prediction. No doubt in my mind.
I think Imanaga is going to be the rookie of the year, but
Cy Young.
No, I think he'll be rookie of the year rather than Cy Young. That's going to be Steele.
Bush. I mean, here's the thing. You needed the lefty pop. You got it. You traded away some good, young, talented pitching. You had a little bit of that kind of depth with your Ben Browns of the world and your Kate Hortons ready to pop. So you were able to get rid of somebody that wasn't quite major league ready, to get somebody that was blocked there. He's an older rookie, 26. I mean, shit or get off the pot. And if this doesn't work, then I guess you give Matt Mervis a try again, because he's basically heavy. Like Matt Mervis is just like being blocked yet once again by this dude.
Well, I'm really hoping that he was just blocked on the Dodgers. I mean, the Dodgers have just boppers all through their team, and that doesn't mean that Bush isn't good. So, I mean, in a perfect world, Bush, this is his first of several seasons. We're going to see him for 5-6 years, in a perfect world. He's just good at it, I hope. And in this particular lineup, I do like that they split Swanson and Horner because they've been brutal in spring training. And just by looking at it, I feel a little happier with Bush splitting those two up.
Well, he batted 167 last year, so I don't with the Dodgers. So I don't know how happy he'll be for too long. But
well, he had no, there was no continuity, no chance to get a rhythm going, and he was playing
hit
all
27 home runs at Oklahoma City. He had a total of 32 in 2022 between AAA and AA. He was just blocked, and the knock on him is the same as Mervis, is that he can't do it at the major league level. But I don't believe it. I think it's going to get a long runway, and we'll see what we see starting tonight.
And here's the thing. Counsell absolutely in. He's just like, no, this is they went and got him. I don't know how much he had to do with that, but once they got him, he's like, no, this is our guy. Like, this is it. And let's see. I'm excited that it's not just some fucking has-been who
Hosmer. Oh, swear jar.
Goddamn swear. I'm trying not to say it, but just some has-been who we're just kind of like fucking plugging holes. I want Bush to be a building piece, and that's what I hope he is.
Yeah.
We need a building piece there at first base. Rizzo held it down for so long, and I think people don't give credit to how much the first baseman comes into, like, it's ridiculous that they act like first base is not a super athletic position when, I mean,
more and more they are acting that it is. I see them valuing it a little bit more as the game has changed to a more defense pitching based situation where you're just not just going to put some fat guy over there and hope he catches the ball that's slung his way. So Nico Horner, a great year last year. I can see maybe an all-star. He won the Gold Glove. I could see an all-star appearance in his future. He hit 22 home runs last year, which was, I think, a little bit of a surprise. I don't think anybody predicted him to have that many. Batted 279, so his OPS plus was 97. So that, but the glove is right there. He's your backup shortstop. Obviously, a lot of value. Yeah.
I love Nico Horner. I have liked Nico Horner since he first came up, and they went through all those years where he didn't know what he was going to do. He's battled through it. He's done nothing with the Cubs except for prove he's their guy, and he should be out there every single day. I love Nico Horner. A little surprised about him being 7. And honestly, if you're going to go to 7, go to 9 and just do that double lead-off thing. Yeah.
I was thinking that too. Madrigal at third.
Fuck Madrigal.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to hear about how we feel about that, just go watch one of last year's shows. They're still up on YouTube. Go check them out and just search for Madrigal and you'll see.
I don't even think Madrigal should be on this team. I don't think he hasn't played in 3. He hasn't played in 3 weeks. He's been injured, and prior to that, whatever. I mean, I get why I understand why he's on the team. I just don't think he should be.
Yeah. No, I wish we had found something to do with him, and maybe we still will. And maybe, is Wisdom actually on the IL right now? Okay, yeah, he's on the 10-day. So I wonder what's going to happen with that situation when Wisdom's back. Like, wouldn't you rather have the power off the bench as opposed to the on-basedness when you have like a Miles Mastrobuoni who's faster and from the left side and a La Stella Manor to get that done? I mean, that's what Wisdom would be my preference over Madrigal. Let's just put it that way.
100%. I mean, I would rather have Wisdom because if you put, like, if they're a bench guy and you're going to bring him in as a pinch hitter, Madrigal might get on base a little more than Patrick Wisdom, but Patrick Wisdom can break the game open.
Yeah.
I mean, you're flipping a coin, obviously, because he's going to fucking strike out 50% of the time.
Yeah.
But the other 50% of the time, great things are happening.
Yeah, exactly. So then Gomes gets the start. So he's still the catcher. And
I don't know why. I mean, look, this comes down to pitchers and catchers, and that's not really like if Steele is more comfortable with Gomes, then fine. I
want Miguel Amaya to take more starts this year. And,
I do too. I want him to be the number one.
Jan Gomes had a great year last year. In fact, Gas Money had a year that he probably didn't even expect out of himself. He's freaking old. And I have a little bit of a conspiracy theory that over a certain age, they're maybe not testing these guys as hard.
Yeah,
they're finding a little fountain of youth, you know. I mean, that's probably not true, but might be true.
Yeah.
Seems like it might be. It's like, all right, you're 37. Okay, that's the age you're allowed to take a little bit. So we're not going to test you as hard, especially second half of the year. You know,
yeah.
we stopped testing you.
No, and I mean, look, the catcher's first job is defense, and it's how he works with the pitchers. Again, my catcher for opening day would be whoever the fucking
pitcher wants. Yeah.
So that's the one that I feel like is not out of Council's hands, but it could kind of be out of Council's hands. And again, I like this entire lineup. The only thing I think I would do would be move Bush up 1, Swanson down 1, and probably put Horner as the 9 because I don't see what he does as a 7.
I like this in the chat. Bill Suga says Nick's hammy will be shot before the resurrection. Easter is Sunday, so we have the 3 games, I guess, 2 games, and then by the resurrection. And so let me just put up the rest of the Cubs, our bench, and so you got Amaya on the bench. You also have Miles Mastrobuoni on the bench. Wisdom's hurt.
Which, by the way,
Tachman.
I'm all for Miles Mastrobuoni being the bench guy, even though I fucking hated him last year. It seemed like it was only because he kept blocking Morel, and that's not happening anymore. So I'm all for him being the bench guy.
Yeah. So, am I missing somebody? Because if Patrick Wisdom is truly on the IL, does that mean we grabbed somebody else? Like, does that mean?
I don't know. You got Michael Bush on here. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
this
is
is everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, wait, what the fuck?
So, yeah, I don't know if I'm missing anybody, but because
Well,
I only counted 3. Maybe they're carrying 14 pitchers. I don't know. Here's the Cubs.
Well, they can't carry 14 pitchers, but if
Yeah, that's
anybody
right.
knows who we're Garrett Cooper, that's who you're
Garrett
missing.
Cooper, yeah. So Garrett Cooper off the bench. I like that too. I mean, and in a way, maybe you don't need Wisdom because of that righty slug. Just saying.
Actually, yeah, that might be the case. And again, I think we probably talked about this on the last show. I liked the Cooper choice. I don't like the Madrigal's the only person on this team that I'm annoyed is on the 26 man.
I'm going to forget Garrett Cooper is on this team for at least the first month of this season. So this will be the first or maybe the second or third time that I've done that already. So here's the bullpen the Cubs are going to throw out there. This will be after our man Justin Steele gets the ball to start the game. Alzolay is the closer. Hector Neris, Mark Leiter Jr., and hopefully his reverse splits are working again. Julian Merriweather dialing up. The new guy, Yency Almonte, who's got a funky delivery. Jose Cuas also from the right side with his sidearm funk. And Luke Little as the sole lefty out of the pen. Well, I guess you could count Smiley as a lefty. He's listed here amongst the starting depth, but he is going to be pitching out of the pen. So it's now that's something that's different than last year.
Yes,
it's better.
I think a lot of people are very concerned about the pitching staff, especially the starting pitching. Do you remember last year? Like the starting pitching could very possibly be iffy. I'm more confident with what we have this year versus what we had last year, though. So, I mean, in that sense, and this is what always happens, right? And this is a little bit what I talked about the other day. When I wake up, my brain doesn't reset. And so I do compare things to what happened last year as if it was yesterday. Like, I know this is I think it's a better rotation this year than it was last year. And I think the bullpen is better this year than it was last year on opening day. And while you can still have questions, they're better. They are This team is better up and down the lineup. Pitchers, catch,
and in the
like
dugout.
everybody.
Craig Counsell. That makes it better,
in
right
the dugout.
there.
Yes,
And Craig Counsell to manage it all. So let's go.
I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. Me too. And I 162-0 as far as today goes is my prediction. I'm kidding. I'll give my real prediction later. But first, we should go to commercial break real quick because this game's going to start in 45 minutes. So we got a lot more to get through before this game starts.
Well, actually, aren't they doing? Isn't it going to be like a half hour of the fucking Rangers like raising the flag?
I don't know. Like sometimes they build that in and sometimes they do not. I remember one time that we complained that they started the game like 45 minutes late after all this rigmarole when was that? They gave a bunch of like old guys an award or something. We're like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah. Okay. So people in the chat, go to ESPN and figure out if they're starting this broadcast
at
6 in order to get that shit taken care of, or if they're starting at 6:30 and they're going to start because we know
6:35 is the game start according to this.
Okay, then that feels like the broadcast starts at 6. Okay,
yeah.
Let's move on.
Yeah. Well, let's go to Who's That Cubby?
Who's that Cubby? Cubby! There we go. Look at this guy, and I feel like a lot of people are going to get this.
I knew right away. You
knew right away.
Yeah, when I saw it.
Yep. Yeah, I will say I chose this guy, and it made me go down a little rabbit hole and watch some. I kind of miss him. Well, and I know he's not on any of the greatest Cubs teams, but I kind of miss him.
So we're going to tell you who this Cubby is when we come back. But in the meantime, if you haven't joined on to our Patreon at patreon.com/sunranto, you really should, because the way you're going to find out about these games on a daily basis is through our daily Cubs pod, and that you only get through our Patreon RSS feed. So,
and Thomas Schick says ESPN says game starts at the bottom of the hour, which if you're into broadcasting or radio or whatever, 30 is the bottom of the hour.
Yeah. So there we go. Who's that Cubby? We will be right back and we'll preview this game and what's going on with the Rangers, the world champion Rangers. And we'll be right back in 2 Shakes of a Lamb's Tail.
All over Chicagoland, there are thirsty, frazzled, overworked Cubs podcasters who are struggling to survive one more baseball season in the dog-eat-dog world of unpaid content creation. But it doesn't have to be this way. You can make a difference. Become a super ranter at patreon.com/sunranto, where your support ensures that poor, sad, pathetic, ugly, loser Cubs podcasters can pay for tickets and beer, and in turn, line the pockets of the baseball oligarch Ricketts family. Just $1 a month can buy a scorecard. $5 a month can pay for guitar strings to write a Cubs song. And $10 a month almost buys one beer at Wrigley Field. Cubs content creators are the lowest pieces of pond scum garbage that slither over the face of this planet. But super ranters help them get drunk and screw off at baseball games. What do you get out of it? The Son Ranto Show delivered to your podcatcher without stupid advertisements like the one you're seeing and hearing right now. Plus, at other Super Ranter levels, you can get Cubs music, access to private Son Ranto pages, the Ranter calendar, and special thanks and Ranter recognition in our live broadcasts. Plus, eligibility for monthly prizes. What does Son Ranto get out of it? Your money. For tickets and beer. Go to patreon.com/sunranto. That's patreon.com/sunranto. And become a Super Ranter today. If you like the Cubs a bunch, buy your t-shirts from In the Clutch. We've got all the best styles for you. Dansby, Saya, Morel too. Clark Fly in his double U. Cody Bellinger smoking deuce. Vintage shirts from days of old. Patrick Wisdom and Nico. You'll look sharp wearing your stroll. 10% off with the code SONRANTO. SONRANTO. InTheClutch.com is your store for the most fun baseball shirts on the planet. Don't forget to use promo code SUNRANTO to knock a couple bucks off your purchase. Stack or die, we need more cups. Get it all at In The Clutch. Cause if you like the Cubs a bunch, buy t-shirts from In The Clutch. Get it all at In The Clutch. Get it all at In The Clutch.
Do you ever find yourself longing for long walks and talks about Ketrometrics? How about a coffee over run differential? Maybe a candlelit dinner dissecting what exactly is the curious case of Miles Mastrobuoni? If you have, I have just the place for you, the Cubs PS Plus podcast. Come join us. Cubs PS Plus, a Northside numbers game, can be found wherever it is you get your podcasts, and on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, all at Cubs PS Plus, a spin on the baseball metric OPS Plus. Are you ready? I'm ready. Here we go.
Okay, we are back with Who's That Cubby? Did anybody get this in the chat?
Oh my God. Nobody got it. Chris Salato says right at the top, he says, oh God, that stance is burned into my brain, but I'm blanking. Artie says Grace, wrong.
Chris also said Nomar.
Yep, we got a No More. We got a Maddox, which is a good call. Try and go deep. I saw Dunston. Terry E says Dunston.
No.
But
people are going to, yep, finally somebody got it. And it had to come all the way from freaking Australia before somebody actually got the right answer.
It's Starlin Castro.
And Dallas Kilponen got it all the way. And now what time is it there in I almost said Dallas. Actually, the Cubs are in Dallas. Dallas is in Australia.
Yeah.
So Dominic got it as Castro. Spokeland says Starlin. It was easy. They might be a little bit behind.
Maybe they're on a delay or something.
Maybe they're on the picture that's up now, which is actually of Starlin Castro. They're like, oh, that's easy. It's Starlin.
That's
Castro.
Starlin. Yeah, of course.
How could nobody get this?
Here's the thing. Everybody, do yourselves a favor. At some point today, go watch Starlin Castro do the shadow ball play. Oh my God. It still makes me smile so much. So the ball got hit to KB, and while KB picks up the grounder to throw to Rizzo, Starlin Castro, for no reason, just out of the fucking blue, mimed exactly what KB was doing. So much so that like Rizzo was like, what the fuck? Like he didn't know who was throwing the ball.
Yeah, he was like, you got to get this guy off the tape. He's fucking with my head.
It was
it's
amazing.
If you want to get your head fucked with, 9:50 a.m. on Friday right now in Australia. So that's going on.
9:50 on Friday.
I'm going to share the link to In the Clutch collections that the Son Ranto show has their own collection. Amongst it is actually, I don't think this is in the collection, but the opening day shirt. I'm going to wear this down to the CHGO show party that's going on in only 40 minutes. It starts. They're probably already down there. 10% off with code SunRanto. Also, one lucky Patreon member is going to win a In the Clutch shirt at one a month. And I should have done it tonight. I think we could still hook it up. We could still hook up the Patreon prize of the month. I didn't realize it's actually what are you doing?
Sorry, Danny. I didn't mean to pop this actually on the screen. I wanted it to be like lower here so I could bring it in. But we have something to do here in just a moment. It'll take a few seconds, but keep going with what you're saying. Okay. We'll jump into it.
Yeah. What was I saying? I have no idea. So
you were talking about the Chuggo party.
Yeah, I'm going there. So if you want to go, we're gonna be down at Country Club, and I'm gonna be wearing my In the Clutch shirt. Hashtag Chance in the chat.
And you'll be wearing your badass Captain Cubbo shirt or hat.
This is going to be my affectation this year, I think. I'm going to go with this, I think.
I went old school. This is my 2015 hat. I wore this going to the Cubs Cardinals playoffs, and then I wore the brand new shirt. I literally didn't wear it until today, and then I got something blue. I think I'm getting married.
Something borrowed, something blue.
I have nothing borrowed at the moment.
Something new. So I also want to mention Matt Kammerer and Permanent Paintings. He's got some amazing artwork. You can see it above me and Michael's heads right now. You go to the Etsy.com shop and search Permanent Paintings and find his amazing work. And one lucky Patreon member is going to win the Patreon prize of the month, which I say we give it away tonight. I definitely have time to download that if we can take a little break where we listen to the new opening day song in a little bit, and then we'll come back and do a Patreon prize of the month, and I will get that list of everybody. So
you're going to need to put a hashtag in front of that chance.
Yeah,
in order to get
chance,
into it.
Yeah, hashtag Chance in the chat to win the
prize. I just wanted to make sure that we because we don't know Ann. She seems new into the chat, and I want to make sure she understood hashtag Chance gets you into the drawing.
Well, it's B-side Ann, who has been around for a while.
Oh, okay.
Michael, you're always like, I don't know that person. I'm like, you don't do social media, dude. He's like, I don't understand. Like, you're like, dude, you're not online.
I am online. I'm just not where anyone else is. I'm on Reddit. I'm over on Reddit.
You're on Pornhub, admit it.
No, I'm on X videos. Fucking Pornhub doesn't have the good preview.
So let's talk about the Rangers lineup, who they're throwing out there. They won the World Series last year, so they're pretty darn good. Marcus Semien leads it off. Corey Seager, Jung, Jacob. I think his name is Jacob Jung.
I don't know. I think and I never know. It's like, is it Jung? Is it Young? Is it Hung? Gung? Like, I don't know his nationality, so I can't actually pronounce his name.
Doesn't matter. Jung is playing third base. Adolis Garcia, former Cardinal, who had a great year last year and won the World Series with the Rangers. I always love when a former Cardinal goes on to do better things. Langford, then Jonah Heim, E. Duran, which is, I thought it was Elvis Duran, who used to run the Z100 morning show in New York City, but then I realized that dude's like almost 70. It probably wasn't the same guy.
Okay, my son in college down in Oklahoma just sent me a text. Eli, thank you. It's Josh Jung. Jacob Jung is a tiger, according to him.
Yeah, all right. So I did recognize the name. So
thank you, Eli. That's awesome that you're watching. I appreciate it.
So then he's probably like showing his family trauma to his friends. He's like, God, see, look at my freaking dad and how he acts.
The only chance you get for your kids to listen to you is if they move a long way away.
So Duran playing Ezekiel Duran. He's listed here as a shortstop, but he's playing first base. 24 years old, young guy. in the league a couple years. And that's right, Michael. You can actually see a baseball player on a field before they're 25 years old. I didn't know that was possible.
I have been told Jed actually called a meeting before this game, and he's like, I'm protesting because this guy still needs 157 at bats at AAA.
Yeah. Carter, or does that say Garver?
Carter.
Who the hell is Carter?
Gary.
I don't think it's Gary Carter. Yeah. Oh, Evan Carter. Okay. I'm looking at his stats from last year. Didn't play a lot, only in 23 games. So I guess he's a young guy too, but he did bat 306, had an OPS over. Oh my God. He had 62 at bats. He had 5 home runs in him. So apparently this kid's got some pop. Taveras, who I also know is not an Oscar Taveras, because he is it's Leody Taveras. I don't know if there's any relation, but I remember Oscar Taveras, he's the guy that died, as well as Gary Carter. So we're not bringing people back from the dead on opening day, but he's a switch hitter and playing center field. I do see that last year, Evan Carter, he only got into 23 games. He batted 306 and had an OPS over 1,000. Wait, am I talking about the wrong guy? Oh, Taveras.
Danny, you have been doing this. This is your 12th season.
Yeah.
Doing this podcast. And somehow you have still decided to look this up while on air versus prior to the game.
Yeah. Listen, I looked it up prior to the game. I just don't remember what I saw.
Okay.
But I do. If you look at their numbers here in this batting in this batting lineup here, look at these numbers. They don't have any batting average at all. No home runs, no RBIs, no stolen bases, no average, no OPS. Just a terrible freaking team. They're totally failing since after winning the World Series.
They have a WAR of 0.
Yeah, they suck.
Yeah. So David Elliott writes, Danny tries to read the opposing team's lineup, needs to be a recurring segment. And I actually kind of agree with that.
Follow my TikTok every day. I'm like, who's this guy? How do you say that name?
There's absolutely no preparation prior to, and then you just like, Jacob Jung
Hung. Well, remember there was Jung Ho Gong, and that didn't even look, and that was Kang. And
that was Kang.
But they pronounce it Gong, like for no reason. The weirdest thing I've ever seen. So, so that's the Rangers lineup tonight. And if you want to look at kind of what they have overall, they have a championship season team. But, they weren't that good. We faced them last year at Wrigley. We won 2 or 3. Now, it was in April when we still believed in ourselves.
Well, it's kind of like that now.
Mm-hmm.
We believe in ourselves.
April. Yeah. So we beat them last year. They had a really good offense. They were 3rd in OPS, 3rd in homers, 3rd in walks. They're kind of running it back out there again this year, except for that they're going to get their injured pitchers back at the end of this year, who are known as Jacob deGrom and Max Scherzer. Like, talk about a trade deadline pickup. Like, they don't have to trade anybody. They're just going to come back and they're going to get their 2 worst pitchers off their team at that point.
And you know how, like, we're always talking about, I mean, we're talking about the Dodgers, right? The Dodgers won in 2020, everybody, because they've won a ton of games, all this stuff. You can't sleep on what the Rangers have done. Holy crap. They've spent $750 million over the last couple years. Seager is a huge contract, and I mean, and a great one at that. Like, this team is in it, and I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if they continue to move forward like the Dodgers, or if they decide to switch it up like the Cubs and start to cut back payroll now that they've won a World Series.
They also have their backup catcher is former Cardinal Andrew Kniezer, in case you guys like hearing me read names. They have Travis Jankowski on this team. He former Padre, who was once, the thing I remember about Travis Jankowski, is that Javi tagged him right in the face one time when he was playing third, just like smacked him right. Like, and it must have been 2016 because it was David Ross. I looked up the play today, and it was David Ross that threw him out at third base. Javi, boom, right in the, and then Javi checked on him like, "Hey, I'm sorry for tagging you in the face, but you're out."
There were a number of Javi face tags that season, and I loved it. Like, people forget how goddamn fun Javi Baez is. They just look at numbers. They don't watch him play anymore. They don't, and he plays someplace where it's a lot harder to play versus, Wrigley. And honestly, I feel bad for the guy, but people forget Javi Baez was a fun player to watch because he just did shit on the field. Starlin Castro, like I mentioned earlier, doing the shadow ball play. Like,
well, that's more moronic.
It was fun, but I mean, I think that was in I think it was 2016 that he actually did it. It might have been 2015, but it was, I don't know. Those teams were fun. Those players are fun. It's a good time. So,
well, I know didn't you put him on? We had a discussion the other day for my Cubs question of the day for the Super Ranters in the Discord, and the Cubs Mount Rushmore. Who will you put on it? Didn't you put Javi on yours?
I did. My Cubs Mount Rushmore was Javi, Rizzo, Dawson, and Sammy, because those are the four players that have brought me personally the most joy watching the Cubs in the 30 some years that I've been watching the Cubs.
And while we're going through the rest of these kind of matchups for today and the rest of this series,
God damn it, 40 years. Fuck,
yeah,
I lost 10 years.
I know. I'm over 40. I'll be 50 in freaking April. I mean, May. I don't even know when my birthday is. I'm so freaking old. I forgot because I have freaking Alzheimer's and I got to take jellyfish pills. Prevagen.
Yeah, where's our Prevagen sponsorship?
Yeah, God, could Marquise commercials be any more depressing? Like, now they got that freaking old guy who looks like Tor Johnson from the old Ed Wood commercials, the wrestler that's in like and he's like I thought I was gonna die, and then they saved me. He's like in his hospital gown. I'm like, oh God.
Oh, it's
so
the commercial where you're like, dude, you got the bad end of that. You should have just died. Like, having to live with what you are doing right now seems terrible.
Yeah, you're just like under the knife all the time. The other one that gets me is the radio commercials for Northwestern Medicine, where they're like, we had to remove Kaylee's brain to operate, and so on her eyeball, and or they're like, we took out his entire stomach and put it in a machine to create a new stomach, and then put it back in. You're like, oh my God! Like,
oh yeah, when those commercials come on the radio, I think I'm listening to like the Sci-Fi Hour.
Exactly. Like Dr. Frankenstein working up at Northwestern. Like, We've taken the head of a panda and sewed it on a man's body.
And just so that we could work on the brain while it wasn't attached. And then we reattached it. Yeah, I'm telling you what, Northwestern's doing some wild shit over there.
Exactly. It's insane. Oh, man. So, #chance in the chat if you're having fun.
You can tell how excited we are for this season. I will tell you. So I've been doing this. I think this is my 9th year. And
9 times.
9 times. But this is the first off season where sometime in February, I was like, I don't fucking want to go do the show tonight. This sucks. There's nothing to talk about. There's nothing to do. It's just so fucking just lame. I was kind of losing my mind. And then spring training just kind of started revving me up. And now I'm here because I like this team. I like Danny again. Cubs Pods. If you are not a Patreon supporter, you don't get Cubs Pods. Danny puts shit out there all the time. Just 15 minutes of him just walking around the city, talking, possibly getting hit by a bus. you never know what's going to happen. But he was talking about the vibes on this team. This is the first team literally since, well, I would say before Blue Friday. I would say actually before 2020. I don't think any team had vibes in 2020. I think the vibe in 2020 was like, please don't let us die. And then after that, the Cubs just had no vibes. And then there was Blue Friday, and then it was just the vibe around the team was,
But we're back.
can we possibly just make it through the season? I hope I get another contract. Like it was desperation. This is the first year in 4 years that I feel like these guys don't have that desperation vibe. They don't have we don't know what we're doing. They're coming out here with, we're going to go play some ball and have some fun. And I'm super excited about it. I think it's just going to be a lot of fun.
I do too. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to a great season doing this show with you and Infield Flag Girl, who I should mention is at work. So that's why she's not here right now.
She lives on the West Coast.
Yeah.
And so it's like 3 o'clock.
It's 4 there right now. So this game's about to get started. So we should keep rolling. I did want to give one surprising stat about the Cubs last year versus the World Championship Texas Rangers, that overall the Cubs ERA overall ERA was 20 points better, and their bullpen ERA, the Cubs, was nearly a run better, like lower better. So that's a little bit surprising. You got to give a lot of credit to a great manager like Bruce Bochy. And I thought to myself, hey, you got Craigslist going out there and probably the best manager. I mean, there's maybe 3 off the top of my head are the best managers right now. Got to hand it to Dusty. You got to hand it to Bruce Bochy and Craig Counsell. And then there's probably a few others that you could put up there, but those are some of the top 3 managers. And we got 2 of them going tonight. So that was kind of surprising because the Cubs actually had a decent offense. You wonder that if they had a Craig Counsell last year and maybe made a couple better moves to start the year and actually, had an outfield to start the team in the year last year on the team.
Who would have thought only having 2 outfielders would have been such a detriment to a team?
So tonight we have Justin Steele. And he's going up against Nathan Eovaldi. That's not going to be easy. Neither one of them have an ERA, so just pitcher's duel. Why all over it?
Every time I see Eovaldi, why do I think of like classical music?
Because of Vivaldi, probably.
Oh, Vivaldi. That's it. Okay. I'm like, every time I see that, I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I don't know.
So, obviously, opening day, you're going to get their best pitcher versus our best pitcher. Steele took one off the knee in his last start of spring training. He's a tough dude, though. I think we're going to get a little Mississippi mud ball tonight. And hopefully the Rangers' top 3 offense from last year does not show up against Justin Steele. You
know what? We're talking about a hangover. World Series hangover.
Yep, they're tired.
It's real. They're tired. Unfortunately, I think the first game back, they get a lot of energy. So tonight might not be the night. But I think the Cubs win the series because after tonight, they just kind of crash.
And Steele, he did face the Rangers last year in that series, and he pitched in 1 game, went 6 innings, gave up only 1 run on 4 hits. That was at Wrigley. And it's against largely the same lineup. You see Andrew Kniezer, who's not playing tonight, has a dong off of him, but that's all she wrote. And Corey Seager is 2 for 3, but really not a lot to see here. No more than 3 at bats. It might have just been that 1 game. In fact, it was just that 1 game that anybody has against him, even from other teams. And then Eovaldi has faced quite a few Cubs. Gomes has seen him the most, and Gomes kills him. 6 for 11. So if you were wondering why Miguel Amaya might not be catching tonight, that might be because Yan Gomes, who is now acting as your second get on base leadoff hitter with 5 singles and a double against Eovaldi. Swanson, though, not looking good. So 0 for 6, but that just means he's due out of the, what is he batting fifth tonight?
That's the S stats. It tells you he's due.
Then as far as who else is playing, Hap is 1 for 3, and then there's just not much to see. Nobody's got a dong off of him. That's going to change tonight after Ian Hap hits one to start the game off.
Oh, I like it.
And then we have they still are TBD. Hendo versus TBD. The last time he pitched,
Thomas Blue Balls Dingleberry.
That's it. Last time Hendo pitched against the Rangers was in 2016, and we all remember what happened then. So this is a good sign. And then Jordan Wicks gets the ball instead of Imanaga, who's going to make the Cubs home opener on Monday, weather permitting, because it looks like shit. But Wicks getting the ball. They're throwing lefties at the situation. It's pretty much what we're throwing at everything this year.
Hey, you got 3 lefties, you got 2 righties. I kind of fucking love it. Like we've never had a rotation like this.
Not until like maybe accidentally we would have one, like when Mike Montgomery would be in there or something, you know?
Oh yeah, like mid-season, few people have been injured or tired. Yeah, but I'm talking
the year. Yeah,
you're starting the year, and I don't know. I kind of love it because that's not a normal sort of situation. I mean, you're not expecting to see multiple lefties come at you in a series, and we're going to get that all season long. I hope.
So let's get into some predictions.
Hold on, Danny. This is the moment.
This is the moment.
This is when we have to do it. You see what I'm showing you right here?
Are you going to delete it?
This right here is the scalding stove. If you've been part of the Discord,
I want to keep it up there. There's still things to know.
No, it's the end. We are fucking 15 minutes.
All right, I like it. Delete the shit.
From the season. We're doing it together, and it's gone. We are deleting the scalding stove off of there.
You got Ranger Danger in there, and that is the shank list. Now, that is open to everybody that's on the Discord channel. If you search for Sun Ranto Ranters in Discord, you will find us. That is open to everybody. There are parts of the Discord that is not open to everybody, including Ranters Ranting, which is a message board. There are podcasts and news, and we try to get on there every day and use that as much as possible instead of using something like Facebook, because we feel like we have more control over here. Don't show them what's on there. That's for ranters only. A hot dog.
I love this opening day salad and water. That's a Chicago dog and old style. I love it.
I had a hot dog down at Wrigley Field for breakfast yesterday because I went down to hit the buds thing, and I did not get picked to hit on the field. But I did get some tickets after a while. There was a mistake, and then I ended up, I don't want to bore people with what happened, but the Cubs made it right. So I got some tickets to a game in May for free. Pretty good tickets, by the way, too. But
nice.
But that hot dog tasted great down by Wrigley, even though it was only like 38 degrees. And I was like, hey, I'm at Wrigley Field eating a hot dog. As close as I can get.
Danny, it's only 30 degrees, really cold, but I really enjoyed it.
I'm enjoying it. Come on now. It's too early for this. It'll be 6:15. Games in 15 minutes. So we should keep going. All right. Bold predictions. I'm going to come right out with it. I really do believe in Seiya Suzuki. I think this is the year. It's his 3rd year. Awesome happens in 3 if we know anything about fairy tales, and we're in the middle of one. So this is going to be great. Imanaga on the team is going to be great for him to have like somebody to hang out with, and like speak Japanese with, besides the interpreter that, is helping him place bets with an illegal bookie. Oh no, I'm thinking of somebody else. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Let's get this. So,
that's what happens when you let somebody sit for 5 years by themselves with just them and the interpreter.
Well, when they asked Seiya Suzuki how he felt about the Cubs signing Imanaga. He squealed like a schoolgirl. He was like, he was so excited.
Yeah.
And I know that not everybody that's from the same country is going to be friends, but if you're far from home, and if there's somebody on your team that at least understands things culturally in the same way that you do, it's got to help a little bit, even if you're not the best of friends.
Oh, have you ever traveled? I mean, I know you have, Danny.
It can be lonely. It can be real lonely.
You travel, you get to a different part of the world, and you see somebody who's an American. They're just like, they're from fucking like Idaho. And you're like, I wouldn't talk to you if you paid me if we were in the States. But today, I'm buying you a beer, buddy.
Yeah,
we're hanging out.
Because I haven't spoken English in a week. Exactly. Yeah. So I'm going to say Suzuki has a great year. I did ask Cody Del Mendo to put $20 on MVP, and he said he'd go in on with me on it. So we're going to be splitting a big payout if we get that right. I got Imanaga as my Cy Young. I got Bush as my Rookie of the Year, and I got Morel hitting 50 homers. And even after all that, Cubs managed only 89 wins in a competitive Central for Popeye Don Zimmer and the boys at 89. That was a fun year. I see something similar happening. That's my parallel here. That's where I'm going with.
I like that. I like that a lot. I know last year I said the Cubs would win, I think, 72 games. They won 10 more than that. I still will. I'm honestly going to still say that was a good call. Nobody expected them to do nothing, not get rid of anybody, not really pick up anybody, but just kind of just sit on the trade deadline. I thought they would sell off like crazy, but they didn't. And that ended up with an 82 win team. Great. I think that this team, again, I think this team is better. I'm going 88. I'm going 88 miles per hour, baby. We're going back to the future. Yes, we're going to do this. So yeah, I like 88 wins, and I like Imanaga as my Rookie of the Year. I'm going to say Justin Steele, Cy Young. If I'm going to, I honestly don't think he's going to win the Cy Young, but if I'm going to pick a guy from the Cubs to win it, I don't know. I think he could do it. I would love to see it. So, yeah, I'm excited. MVP Suzuki. I honestly hadn't thought about these things until just right before the show. I like that. I like that call, and I would love. I don't know, spring training, man. And spring training doesn't mean a goddamn thing, but he was fucking killing it.
Yeah.
And I'm really hoping he does that this year.
Sugarnut likes what they're hearing in the chat, and we are, if nothing but I wouldn't call us pessimistic. I would call us skeptical, oftentimes, and I think we kind of we don't necessarily dwell on the negative, but we definitely embrace the negative when we see it and make fun of it. and this year I'm feeling very positive, and I haven't felt this way in a while, so I'm excited.
I think we get a bad rap sometimes. I think people think that we're being negative. We're not. We call it how we see it. We're looking at it. We're looking at the fucking games every day.
Well, we're not going to be looking at it if we don't wrap this thing up like
but okay, but this is what you get when the Cubs put out actual good teams.
Yeah.
You get happy
Positivity.
fucking ranchers.
Yeah. So patreon.com/sunranto and make us even happier. So, yeah. All right. We gotta wrap this up here. I do have we have a Cubsler, we have some TFCs, we have an announcement, and it's in a new song. So let's get this done as quickly in the next
rapid fire.
Let's rapid fire.
What are we doing first?
Let's do the Cubsler. So why don't you tell us last week's Cubsler, and then I'll put up the wheel of names, and we will pick a winner.
I can find it. Okay, Cubsler number 11. He walked the walk, but he also got caught smiling in 32, but more in 34. He thrived at the 5. Not the man so much as the cough. That is Stan Hack.
Yeah, baby.
He is not Stan the man, the hated Cardinals player. He's Stan Hack. But yeah, he walked the walk. He had more walks than any Cub, but he also got caught stealing more than any other Cub.
So he didn't really know when to go.
Well, no, if they didn't tell him to go take a base, he wasn't real quick on when he should do it.
So we have the winners are John Racanelli, Artie Boucher, Corey Furlong, John Pickens, Jeff Bjorn, and David Elliott all had correct answers. So I'm going to take a spin here of the wheel, and we will pick a winner who will win a prize at the end of this year. And right now, you will win
Michael John
Cotton's
Pincus
voicemail. You just won Michael Cotton's voicemail on your on the Patreon feed.
Yeah, and look,
or a Michael Cotton voicemail outgoing message, I should say.
And I have to say, I am sorry for all the people that I have not done yet because I am running behind.
Oh, I think we're fine with it.
Yeah, I did. Danny's just like,
don't worry about it.
As few,
we're busy.
Yeah,
you got a lot to do.
I have to say, I was very happy with the last one I did with Corey Furlong and the Field of Dreams. That made me personally happy just recording it. But wait till we get to the next one. So I got another Corey Furlong coming.
Yeah, okay. Curlong. I like you call them Forey Curlong.
Yes, well it's Forey Curlong. All right, Cubsler number 12. We're going back to another hard one, people, because I wasn't happy with the fact that so many people had correct answers in the last few. So here we go. A wig wearing sunglasses on set, all-star after losing his job, walked off his MLB career versus Astros, landed on a SoftBank. All right, so we're going to read that one more time real quick. A wig wearing sunglasses on set, all-star after losing his job, walked off his MLB career versus Astros, and landed on a SoftBank.
So send your correct answers to sunranto at gmail.com. We got Ranterfest coming up. That is the weekend of 5/31 through 6/2. Now, tickets are for sale. If you go to sunranto.com and click on Ranterfest, you can buy tickets to Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all three. There's a little bit of discount if you go to all three of them. We got comedy on Friday night. We got a live podcast and pretty much a party. We're going to have a live bitch clock. We're going to have we're going to go to the game. We're going to get a Morel bobblehead. We're going to, we're going to have a live bitch clock. I already mentioned that. Raffles. We'll have what else are we gonna have? Songs.
Danny. We're also going to drink beer.
We're gonna drink beer and hang out.
We're gonna hang out. We're gonna drink beer. We're gonna do a live podcast. It's gonna be a good effing time.
And we're gonna raise money for good causes on top of it. So we're gonna have all sorts of things planned. I'm already putting together the guest list.
When you get drunk while raising money for good causes, it's like you're not even getting drunk.
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It doesn't count. It doesn't count. So anyway, I'm going down to Country Club tonight. I don't know. You might be watching this right now and be like, oh, I didn't know about that. Well, hang on down there. I'm going to be leaving in 10 minutes as soon as we finish this show. Hashtag Chance in the chat. We do have some TFCs. I have one.
I have two.
Which goes to, this is about, well, do yours first then.
Okay. I will start with mine. It's a little bit older. This is the Lindor obstruction call at second base.
Oh, God.
Chuck says, what problem are we solving here? 2, if the tag occurs before the runner gets to the obstructed area, you should probably use a term other than obstruction. We recommend the term out for what it's worth. And that was my biggest fucking bitch about this. He absolutely was standing in front of the base. That is not, nobody's arguing that. The runner was nowhere near the base.
It's going to annoy people all year.
Out.
All right, here's mine. This has to do with Trevor Bauer. This from New York Porch Sport said Trevor Bauer irked Diablos Rojos del Mexico teammate during start against Yankees. And this is a quote from the Diablos teammate. It says, "We're tired of Americans sending their worst, most violent immigrants to our country that take our jobs. Maybe the wall wasn't so bad."
I love it. That's really funny, actually. Well, okay. So my last TFC has to do with tonight's lineup. And looked at Twitter right under there, and we see Logan R says, "Looks like runs." And I don't know that Logan R understands exactly like phrasing, people.
Yeah. Well, he didn't say looks like the runs.
No, but I think you got to be more clear when you're speaking or writing, because
Well, you can't spell Logan without the word log. That's we do know.
so we know it's on Logan's mind.
Yeah. So we are going to give away the Patreon prize of the month right now. If you've jumped on even tonight, I probably got you because I just copied and pasted this. Just gonna share my screen right here. We're gonna pick a name. And then we're gonna play a new song that I worked with Wrigleyville Bum, Joe Waltz. He helped me by getting some opening day footage, some old stuff for the music video for a brand new song called Opening Day. It is streamable on all the music streamers. So just search that. My name, Danny Rocket with 2 T's. But let's pick a winner right now. Patreon prize of the month. You're going to win a Matt Camera permanent painting.
Look at all
Ron
those people. Don't you want to
Santo.
be on that wheel?
Yeah, get on the wheel. And the winner is Jared P. Congratulations. And, Jared deserves it because Jared is the one that when we had overflow from, I believe this is the same Jared, when we had overflow from our fantasy league that we have, which I'm currently losing, that he made a whole new fantasy league for other people to join. Now that's running too. We have two Ranter fantasy leagues, Rantersy, if you will.
That's freaking awesome. Thank you, Jared. And Jared's actually been he always enters. He tries at least. He's put the correct answer in for a lot of Cubslers. And so it's pretty awesome. Thank you, Jared. And we're glad that you can win the end of month rancher, whatever the fuck we're doing right now. I totally forgot halfway through talking. I've had 3 Guinness during this show.
Oh God.
And I'm going to have 3 more.
Well, what we are going to give the Patreon prize. Well, we just gave away the Patreon prize.
Yeah, as long as
we're
we're
giving
giving away
now is the chance prize.
Oh, the chance.
Yeah,
Hashtag chance.
Hashtag chance in the chat. And you can have a chance to win a Frank Chance postcard sent to you by me.
Bernie says, we can tell. Yeah, I know.
Exactly. That's the problem is as you get older, I feel like older people get drunk quicker and more obviously. I see that in the bleachers all the time. It's like they're like doing his 40s, like 3 beers in is like
I don't think it's
slurring and falling over, and a young buck's like just rare to go, gets more energy.
Well, yeah, because the young buck has been drinking nonstop all week long. And the 48-year-old like myself, that's the first time he's gotten a drink in a while.
So here we go. Hashtag chance in the chat, and let's pick it. Somebody's going to win the postcard. Who's it going to be? You all deserve it. You really do. I hope it's not Dallas because that'll cost me an arm and a leg. Anthony Hutchless.
I like how you actively cheer against the guy from Australia.
I don't know how to send a postcard to freaking Australia.
I believe you have to
$8
order a kangaroo from Amazon.
Stick it in his pouch.
Yeah, and it's like a homing kangaroo.
So I want to thank all of our fans.
Dominic Galoro, let's wrap this up.
Yeah,
We're with you. We got 5 minutes, man.
5 minutes, yeah. We're going to use every freaking second, too. So 111 Patreon supporters we have. Please jump on patreon.com/sunred. So you get a lot of extra stuff, including Discord access. There will be no post-show tonight. I'm heading down to that party. Thank you so much.
And we're watching baseball, baby.
Tonight.
Opening day.
Thank you to Blake Beard, Rogue Wave Creative, Mike Waller and the Cubs PS Plus podcast, Matt Cameron's Permanent Paintings, In the Clutch shirts. Hey, happy we made it, guys. And so hopefully you enjoy this new song that's going to bring us into the 2024 season. But first, a message about what's next from Cubstradamus.
The Cubs Imanaga drink sake. Nick Madrigal is a lawn jockey. Will come from playing the best to a team from the West to face Chris Bryant and the Rockies.
Nick Madrigal's a lawn jockey.
Freaking rude. That was rude, I thought. So that's what we got. So we got the Rockies next, and Spagog. Let's win.
Spagog! Oh, we made it through the winter.
It's opening day. Time to start again. It's opening day. It's the season when we turn the lights back on. Winter has gone away. It's opening day. Come down to the park. It's opening day. Sunshine for the darkness. Turn the lights back on. Because it's time to play. It's opening day. Lining up the team. It's opening day. On a field of dreams, you turn the lights back on. Winter's a long, hard way. Back on. Winter's a long, hard way. For opening day. Summer in the sun. It's opening day. Come out, everyone, and turn the lights back on. We are all in first place. On opening day. You turn the lights back on. Lights back on. Winter's long, hard wait.